Hello, everybody. Good morning. Great to see so many of you here today at Cardinal St. John. My name is Arlo White, broadcaster, host, play-by-play announcer for the LIV Golf broadcast. And this is going to be a very fun 3 days here at Cardinal St. John as we round out a spectacular 2025 LIV Golf League season. This is the 2025 LIV Golf Team Championship Selection Show and Press Conference. We've had 13 events across 9 countries in 4 continents, and it all, in the team aspect, comes down to this. And with previous experience, this 3 days and this weekend is going to be absolutely spectacular. Now, we've got a different format to tell you about this year. There are no buys. So all of these great players that you see behind me will be in action from the get-go, from Friday in the quarterfinals. Ian Poulter, successful yesterday. We had a play-in match here yesterday, effectively an eliminator between the 12th and the 13th seeds. And the Majestics edged Kevin Na's Ironheads 2-1, so they make up our field of 12. Rankings. So the picks will be made based on the final standings in the regular season, 1 through 12. The higher ranked teams will choose their opponents. Each matchup, so there'll be 6 of them on Friday, 2 singles matches and 1 foursomes/alternate shot, depending on which side of the pond you are from. 3 points, therefore, available in each matchup, and the first of 2 will progress. So before we reveal the matchups, let's introduce the captains that you see on the stage. Firstly, the number 1 seeds, 4 times winners this season, and he is the individual season-long LIV Golf League champion. The captain of Legion 13 is Jon Rahm. Yeah, why not? Why not? My goodness, he's earned it. The number 2 seeds, 2023 LIV Golf League champions. They won 3 times this season. The captain of Crushers GC, Bryson DeChambeau. The number 3 seeds, also 3 times winners this season. The captain of Fireballs GC, Sergio Garcia. In at number 4, victorious in Indianapolis last week, 5 times individual winner this season, the captain of Torquay GC, Joaquin Niemann. The 2022 champions in our first season in LIV Golf, 6 podium finishes this season, a return to form. Captain of the 4 Aces is Dustin Johnson. The reigning champions, victorious in Dallas last year. They also won the event in Miami earlier this season. The captain of the Aussies, the proud Aussies, Ripper GC, Cam Smith. Next up, they won in Chicago 2 weeks ago in dramatic style in a playoff. Proudly representing South Africa, the captain of Stinger GC, Louis Oosthuizen. This team had 3 podium finishes this season. 5 times they finished in the top 5. Captain of Smash GC, Brooks Koepka. The number 9 seeds, 11th in the standings individually this year. Amazing what you can do with 2 good knees. The captain of Range Goats GC, Bubba Watson. The 10th seeds, no stranger to team golf, of course. The captain of High Flyers GC, the maestro, Phil Mickelson. Next, a team looking to reach their first final. The captain of Cleeks Golf Club, Martin Keimer. And victorious in that nail-biting eliminator yesterday, the captain of Majestics GC, Ian Poulter. So, time to find out the matchups for tomorrow's quarterfinals. So, John, with the first pick, Legion 13 have selected who?
We select the Cleeks.
Cleeks Golf Club. against Legion 13 to start. Let's take a look at the matchups, and this is a new development this year. So the higher the seed, the higher the pick, but also you get to see your opponent's lineup and you can match up. So this is what Martin chose: Richard Bland, Adrian Moronk in the singles, Freddie Ketchup, Martin Keimer in the foursomes. So John, you had the choice. You've gone with Tyrrell Hatton to play Richard Bland, yourself against Adrian Moronk, and Caleb Surratt and Tom McKibben will play in the foursomes. They weren't the lowest seeds, John. So why did you choose the cliques?
In my mind, it was between obviously whoever won yesterday and the cliques, and with the Majestics coming on top and the amount of match play experience they have, with how many awards they've won between three of them in match play, I felt like with an extra day of practice on the golf course and in competition, they could be a very dangerous team. And I thought, you know, it might be a bit more interesting of a matchup to play against the cliques, and just not banking on the Majestics not learning enough from what they did, right? I think like they could surprise anybody. Not that anybody here can't, right? And I think the Ironheads proved that last year. You have to take everybody seriously, because whatever we've done until now does not matter. It's 18 holes to win. So, but just based on that extra experience and what they've done in match play, I decided to go with the cliques.
Was it a slight advantage to see how Martin lined up, so therefore you could respond, or had you already decided?
Had a slight idea. I did go through a few scenarios in my head, because I think we have quite a versatile team in that sense. You can put quite a few different players in foursomes and make it work really well. In the end, I think Caleb and Tom have a really good understanding of each other's games and what they can do. And I think obviously me and Tara individually are really strong individuals. So I wanted to put what I thought was the best out there. But it's not set in stone. Depending on what Martin did or things like that, it could change. But I felt comfortable with what we had planned.
Thank you, John. Martin, how did it feel to be picked first?
Well, I mean, it shows a little bit our performance this year. You know, we were just not good enough, unfortunately. But in the end of the day, you know, John, he picked us, which is it's going to be very difficult. Obviously, they played great all year. John showed what he can do, which I thought was amazing. First of all, I think we need to show a lot of respect to John. You know, to finish top 12 every single tournament, that was very, very impressive. But I do feel like it's a good lineup for us. You know, Adrian, he showed this year that he can win golf tournaments. So he plays against the best competitor that we had in LIV 2025 this year. Blandy is a very consistent player. Also Tyrrell is, but I think Blandy has a good chance against Tyrrell. There are no easy matches. And with Freddie and me playing the foursome is difficult to play. Doesn't matter who you are, how many Ryder Cups you've played, there's always an adjustment. And I feel like, yes, we need our A game, absolutely, tomorrow. But I do like the lineup, and I do think there's any chance.
Thank you, Martin. So the first of 6 quarterfinals on day 1 will be Legion 13 against Cliques Golf Club, Hatton against Bland, Rahm against Moronk, and then Caleb Surratt and Tom McKibben face Freddie Ketchup and Martin Keimer. Now then, the second pick. Bryson's Crushers GC finished second in the standings. Bryson, who have you gone for?
Yeah, we've gone for the Majestics.
There we go. Quarterfinal number 2, Crushers GC against the Majestics. So Bryson had an opportunity to see the Majestics lineup, and this is how he has responded to that. Bryson against Lee Westwood. Echoes of the Ryder Cup about that one. Anaban Lahiri against Sam Horsfield, who won a nail-biting singles yesterday against the Ironheads. And then it's Paul Casey, Charles Howell III against Henrik Stenson and Ian Poulter. Bryson, firstly, congratulations on automatic selection for the Ryder Cup in September. You've chosen to play a team that contains 2 Ryder Cup legends. May I ask why?
Yeah, I think that they haven't played their best this year, and albeit, you know, anything can happen, like John said, tomorrow. It's one of those situations that we're trying to pick the team that we think can match up pretty well against each other, and having Paul Casey and Charles that are pretty consistent, and guys that just don't waver that much, is something that I'm willing to put up against the Majestics. And then Bond's been playing some good golf. I think he'll pair good with Horsfield. And then, Lee's been playing pretty solid golf. I want to take him on.
So there's one change that you've made to previous tournaments, and that you've broken up the pairing between Charles Howell and Anaban Lahiri. What was the thinking behind that?
Yeah, I think we wanted a bit of a change there and wanted to see how Paul and Charles would fare with each other, and I feel like their games actually complement each other almost even better. Paul is somebody that's just they're both super consistent. I think they're not going to get themselves in trouble, and they're also not afraid to go at it. So I just felt like that was a better choice for our team this year and where everybody's games are at.
Thanks, Bryson. Ian, it's been a stressful week. It's been a busy week, hasn't it, for Majestics GC, with the events in Indianapolis last week and then the play-in event yesterday, which you were successful in. Has or does playing the course in match conditions give you any sort of advantage?
Yeah, I hope so. Definitely playing it under tournament stress conditions. I think giving us that early look is probably in our favour. I think. Firstly, respect, for John for not picking us. That would have been, a difficult matchup. Not saying the Crushers is going to be an easier matchup, but we've got two slightly elder teams. Us, obviously, the wily old foxes, against some, couple of veterans on the Crushers team. But hopefully our match, yesterday. Gives us an early look, which hopefully we can lean on, tomorrow afternoon. Matches coming down to the 18th hole yesterday, which was difficult, stressful. Impressive to see Sam finish that match off, and hopefully we can do the job tomorrow.
Thank you, Ian. So, Bryson DeChambeau against Lee Westwood, Anaban Lahiri against Sam Horsfield in the singles in this matchup, Paul Casey, Charles Howell III against Henrik Stenson, and Ian Poulter. That's the Crushers against the Majestics. Now then, Sergio next. The third seeds, the Fireballs, 3 victories this season, all in succession in the early part of the season. Sergio, who have you selected with pick number 3?
Can't remember. We picked the Ironheads. Oh, no, they're not in.
They've gone home, Sergio.
We picked the High Flyers.
Phew. The High Flyers against the Fireballs is the third quarterfinal. So let's take a look at the lineups and the matchups for that one. This should be a fascinating encounter. So we've got David Puig against Phil Mickelson, Abraham Anser against Cameron Tringali, who, by the way, has a record of 5-0 in match play in the LIV Golf League, and then Sergio with Josele Ballester, this fantastic youngster, against Brendan Steele and Andy Ogletree. So you took a look at Phil's lineup, and you've put David Puig against the great man. So what's the thinking behind your lineup?
I think that kind of like John said, anybody, I feel like anybody in my team could have played anybody on any spot. We decided to kind of change up the foursomes a little bit this year with me not playing with Abe. We feel like this course suits up quite nicely for Abe, and he's been playing very nicely. And the two youngsters, obviously, they have amazing potential, and we've seen what David can do. So, I felt like that was a good lineup for us, and then it just comes down to playing well tomorrow and getting the win. Simple as that.
Just tell us a little bit about Josele, because he almost pulled off the victory, didn't he, in Chicago? He was just so good. He's talented. He seems confident, down to earth, very respectful individual. How impressed with him have you been since he's come into the league?
Well, I've known him for a long time, so I knew what he was capable of, and obviously he played very well a couple of weeks earlier at JCB and had a good finish there, had a strong finish. So it's been fun to see him kind of settled in and get him more and more comfortable. Obviously he's a unbelievable player, great potential, beautiful person. So, very excited to obviously have him in our team, and really excited to play foursomes with him tomorrow.
Thanks, Sergio. Phil, what are your thoughts about this matchup?
I think that I believe in our team. We haven't had the year we wanted. I believe in our team. The Fireballs have won a number of times this year. They're just a bunch of great players. I think David Puig and Joseli are two of the most exciting young players in the game today, with firepower you can't believe, because they have 190 ball speed and incredible wedge play. Both of them do incredible short games, and so I've got a really tough match tomorrow. I thought it would have been fun to have a bit of a rematch of like the 2016 Ryder Cup, where Sergio and I, went head to head. I thought that would have been fun, but I understand why he wanted to play with Joseli after having him just come to the league recently. I understand why his leadership and guidance and partnership with him will help bring out the best in him. So I understand his pairings. I thought it would have been fun, though, to have a match against him. But David he's got incredible speed and an incredible short game. He's just got a lot of firepower. It's why he's been so successful in the league. We have our work cut out for us. But, again, I believe in our team. I believe what we're capable of. Even though we've had some challenges this year, I do believe in what we're able to do.
Phil, you've challenged for wins individually this season and provided some fantastic moments out on the golf course in the LIV Golf League. How are you feeling about your game and where it's at the moment?
So I had a really good start to the year. I've played some good golf lately, but not as good as I did starting the year, so I'm going to have to turn it on. It meant a lot to me to finish top 24 at 55, to be able to kind of hang with the guys. But I was in a much better spot after the first half of the season, and would have liked to have finished the year a little bit better. But this is an opportunity to try and do that.
Yeah, it's a reset, Phil, isn't it? Thank you very much indeed. So there we go. The Fireballs against the High Flyers. Puig against Mickelson. Anser versus Tringali in the singles. Ballester and Garcia will take on Brendan Steele and Andy Ogletree in the foursomes. Next up, with the fourth pick, congratulations on a great season. Waco, 5 individual victories, absolutely incredible. Who have you picked for Torquay GC?
We got the Range Goats.
The Range Goats against Torquay GC. This is going to be absolutely fascinating. Let's take a look at the individual matchups then. And we've got a blockbuster to start. Waco against Bubba Watson. Mito Pereira will take on Ben Campbell, and then it's Sebastian Munoz, victorious in Indianapolis last week, and Carlos Ortiz, who's ended the season strongly, against Matthew Wolff and Peter Uline. The strategy. A couple of eyebrows might be raised that Sebastian Munoz and Carlos Ortiz have been paired together. What is your thinking behind it?
Yeah, obviously we got a few different options, and I felt like putting Sebastian with Carlos is a pretty strong foursome. I think it's pretty good for this course as well. They're pretty consistent. They've been together since college, so they know each other pretty well, and it's always hard to play foursome. So I feel like for them to be together is going to be easier. And then for me, though, I feel like he's going to be more comfortable playing by himself, playing his own game. He's been playing pretty good last few weeks. So, yeah, I mean, and also for myself, I like playing by myself too. So it'll be a good match.
Yes, with Bubba Watson. What was your thinking about going up against Bubba?
I mean, I feel like I knew Bubba was going to be in single. I feel like he's obviously a different player compared to the rest. And, yeah, I play obviously a few times with Bubba lately. He's been playing amazing golf too. So I mean, I feel like it's going to be a good match. I like to be pushed, so I feel like it's going to be a good setup.
Waco, thank you, and congratulations again on your season individually as well. So, Bubba, you've decided to lead from the front. First name on the team sheet. What was your thinking behind that selection?
Oh, it was quite simple. You knew that he was going to be number one or put himself next to mine, I believe. And for me, hitting first into the holes maybe put pressure on him, my iron game, and these young kids are hitting it so far, like Phil was saying, 190 ball speed and everything. And so the reason why I put me and Ben out there is to Ben hits a lot of fairways, and we're trying to hit the pressure shot into the hole and maybe put some pressure on the other guys and pull that off. And then our team matchup, they play the same golf ball, so there's no worries there. They play at home back down in West Palm. They're members at the same course, and they play the same kind of game: hit the ball hard off the tee, and then try to find it and hit it onto the green. You know, so I mean, let's just call it like it is. We've seen their stats, and so they have the same game, right? And so they play the same ball, and they've played with each other so many times. They're really good friends, and so wanted to challenge them. I mean, they're playing against, I think, number 4, number 8, I think I looked at, against Carlos and Munoz. So they have a tough matchup, but, you know, they wanted a challenge, and I said, well, have fun with that match. And so here we are. You know, it's going to be, it's 18 holes, and we have a shot at it. It's a really tough matchup, but it should be fun.
Great stuff, Bubba. Thank you very much indeed. So a reminder then, Torquay GC against the Range Goats, Waco Neiman against Bubba Watson, Mito Pereira against Ben Campbell, and in the foursomes, Munoz and Ortiz against Wolf and Uline. Now then, to the next pick. Pick number 5. DJ, you're down to either Smash, Stinger, or Ripper. Who have you gone for?
Yeah, we chose Smash. There's only 3 teams left, so it really wasn't much to pick from. But that was just, the next pick. So
yep, 4 aces against Smash, and we know what this means. We know what this means. Let's take a look at the lineups and the matchups. Dustin Johnson against Brooks Koepka. You might get a few eyeballs on that one. Patrick Reed against Taylor Gooch is another great matchup. Then Harold Varner III and Thomas Peters against Graham McDowell and Jason Kokrak. So you saw the lineup and you decided to go up against Brooks Koepka.
Well, yeah, I mean, there really wasn't any other choice, I don't think, except for myself to play against Brooks, and then P. Reed going against Gooch, and then Thomas and Harold are good buddies. I think they play the same, or they play similar golf balls, and their games are pretty similar. So, they play a lot of golf together, and I think they're comfortable playing together. And then, obviously, me and P. Reed are really comfortable playing singles.
You won in 2022, our inaugural season. A bit of a drop-off maybe last year, but there are signs that the 4 aces are kind of getting back to their best. You come into this tournament with a lot of confidence?
Yeah, I think everybody's playing well. We've all played fairly solid this year. If anything, I've struggled, or haven't played as well as I'd like to. But over the past few weeks, I feel like the game's starting to come back to form. And so I'm looking forward to this week. Obviously, it's going to be a tough match tomorrow, but I think the guys are up for it, and we're ready to see what happens.
Dustin, thank you very much indeed. Brooks Koepka, what is your reaction to this, and how excited are you to be facing DJ?
Yeah, I think it'll be a good matchup. They're a tough team. I think all the way through, all 4 guys are very, very difficult matchups, and it'll be interesting to see. We just put our lineup out. G-Max, I think, played every foursomes match in the Ryder Cup but 1. So it was pretty obvious he was going to be in a foursomes, and Gooch has played really well this year. So he was pretty much a lock for singles. I don't think there was any surprise on how that was going to fall, and I thought Jay matched up better with Graham than I did, and I think we pretty much knew what we were going to get.
Great stuff, Brooks. Thanks very much indeed. So how about this? The 4 aces against Smash. We've got Dustin Johnson against Brooks Koepka, Patrick Reed against Taylor Gooch, and in the foursomes, it's Harold Varner III and Thomas Peters. They will take on Graham McDowell and Jason Kokrak. Right, the final pick, and by the powers of deduction, it will be Ripper GC against Stinger GC. It's a repeat of the first ever team playoff that we had in Adelaide last year, which was just so dramatic. It was one of the great moments so far in LIV Golf League history. Let's take a look at the matchups in this tie tomorrow. We've got Lucas Herbert, who will face Dean Burmester. Cameron Smith against Brandon Grace, and then Mark Leishman and Matt Jones are partnered together against Louis Oosthuizen and Charles Schwartzel. Cam, you are the defending champions. You probably felt that you could have finished a little higher this year in the table, so you're going to have to do it the hard way. What's your reaction to the Aussie South Africa matchup here?
Yeah, I think we all probably haven't played our best golf, particularly the second half of the season, so we're really going to have to step it up this week. You know, these guys only won a couple of weeks ago in Chicago. Burmese having an individual win, so it's going to be a tough matchup, but it'll be fun, like you mentioned, a rematch, if you will, of Adelaide, and I'm sure these boys want to get one back on us, so we're going to have to play pretty good tomorrow.
What did it mean to win the title last year to you, the four of you?
It was a ton of fun. I mean, it's probably the most fun and most stress I've had on the golf course all at once. You know, those last four teams were all so close. Anyone could have won with 3 or 4 holes to play, and managed to etch it out. We had Herbie play some great golf the last few holes, and everyone else just kind of hung on. So Herbie brings out his best stuff in this environment. That's why we put him out first against Burmese, and yeah, looking for plenty of good stuff from the other boys in foursomes.
Thank you, Cam. So, Louis, Dean Burmester has won a competition recently in Chicago. Brandon Grace was really under pressure to avoid relegation, and then in the end almost made it into the top 24. His resurgence has been absolutely incredible. What is your thinking behind the lineup that you brought out here?
Yeah, I think right now those two are our best in the team. Brandon, the last 4 or 5 tournaments, has played unbelievable golf, and I know the match player that he is. He's a real little bulldog, and he can be in your face the whole time. And Dean's obviously playing some good golf with a win a couple of weeks ago, and you know, me and Charles very comfortable playing from under the trees at the moment, so we won't be yelling at each other. But yeah, the two of us has been together for a long time and know each other really well, and we normally play very good alternate shot.
And just a word, Louis, about next season and the first ever LIV Golf League event in South Africa. You must be delighted, very proud. What can people expect?
Yes, I think that's also going to be another Aussie-South Africa matchup where we're going to try and match Adelaide with crowds. But yeah, you can look forward to it being a great event.
Great stuff. Thank you, Louis. So let's remind ourselves then of the full lineup for the quarterfinals. Tomorrow is going to be a spectacular day of team golf. So Legion 13, the top seeds, will take on the Cleeks Golf Club. Second seeds, Crushers GC, 2023 champions, against the Majestics, who came through that eliminator against the Ironheads yesterday. Number 3 seeds, the Fireballs, take on Phil's High Flyers. Torquay GC, victorious last week in Indianapolis, will take on Bubba's Range Goats GC. 22 champions, 4 aces against Smash GC, and then the reigning champions from Australia, Ripper GC, against the South Africans of Stinger GC. Captains, thank you very much indeed. Let the team championship begin. Tomorrow's going to be terrific. And Will, I'll hand over to you now to open it up to the floor for questions.
Thank you very much, Arlo. If you could just raise your hand. If you've got a question, we'll get a mic across to you. Mike, we'll start with you.
Hey, John, over here. Obviously, you didn't get a chance to play last year because of illness. Just how nice is it to have the opportunity to play in a match play now this year?
I'm excited. Last year was hard, being with the guys all year, and when it came down to it, the most not being able to play was rough. But they did incredible without me. Rather, they're really good players. This year, I'm just really happy to be a part of it, and hopefully did as well as we did last year and a little bit better on Sunday, and share the experience with them.
And DJ, did it cross your mind at all to maybe play against Gooch, and if not, why not?
I mean, maybe for a second, but I don't know. It just didn't make any sense.
Why? Why didn't it make any sense?
Well, I mean, why wouldn't I play against Brooks?
Brooks, you want to respond to that?
I mean, I didn't get to choose it. I just put it out.
And Phil, I did want to. Arlo mentioned that Cam was 5-0 in this event. Why do you think that's so? Why has he been able to find success in this team championship?
He's just a very solid player. I mean, you've seen it every year on LIV. He's just consistent, day in and day out, and he's a great putter. He's just a great putter, and he's kind of a quiet assassin. He's just a very tough competitor, never out of a hole. He's always in there, and he's just a weapon on the greens. Excuse me. So I didn't realize that was his record, but it doesn't surprise me.
Thanks.
Bryson, so there's also, the strategy of the matchups you're picking, but within the matchups, this week, the player who's teeing off on the odd holes is going to play all the par threes and have much more of the approach shots. Is there a strategy that you're thinking about when it comes to which players are starting on which tees?
Yeah, if you're talking about
in foursomes?
Yeah, if you're talking about foursomes, I think Charles and Paul are incredible ball strikers in their own right. So for them, it's depending on what they want to do ultimately. But they felt on this golf course that they paired up best for the golf course. Paul's an incredible iron player. He's been that way throughout his whole career. So I feel like they'll choose to have him on the par threes. But we'll see where it goes, what they ultimately decide. Because the way I try to lead the team is let them do what they do best. I don't try to influence. I mean, they're veterans. They know how to play golf. They know what to do. So that's what I've just tried to stay out of the way.
And Brooks, you played DJ, I think, once professionally in the 2022 Dell Match Play, and DJ got you there. Do you feel like you owe him one here?
I don't owe anybody anything. He doesn't owe me anything. I just think it's a good matchup. The teams, I think it's definitely, I think, one of the tougher matchups. They got a real solid team all the way through. P. Reed's pretty good at match play. It doesn't matter who you're going to play on their team. They're pretty solid. So it's a tough matchup, whoever you play.
Thank you.
This is for Bryson and Phil. Welcome back to Detroit. You guys have interesting history here. I was just wondering if you could compare or explain how a LIV golf tournament, for people who aren't familiar, obviously here, how is it a better experience for you as players, but also for the fans? And is there something you'd like to see improved in the tournament experience for LIV going forward?
Go ahead.
Well, I think as it comes to players, we've been up here in this area a few times, and I played well up here, and I love the area. I love the people. So it's always fun to come back up in the Detroit area. And I'd say from a player perspective, we at least from my perspective, I've certainly enjoyed everything about LIV Golf, the team aspect. I mean, we get to do this, which is not normal. It's not what we used to do. And being able to play against the best players in the world, I mean, is a lot of fun for me. And, I think as it comes down to it, having something different from stroke play is fun as well, and something we don't do enough of, I personally think. So I love it. And then from a fan experience, I would say that they get to see some intimate, unique, different style of golf. It's not just normal stroke play, obviously, and we barely get to see that throughout the year. You've got the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup that we play some team golf events, but seeing this more frequently is I think, a different experience. And then, just walking around the complex and having the fan village and feeling like you're part of the entertainment is a little different. And so there's numerous reasons why this league's a lot different, a lot more fun from my perspective, and it's intense. I mean, when you get out there, we all want to win, right? I think that's the thing that people misunderstand about LIV Golf is that we're fighting for every single shot. I've said it numerous times, but when we're playing stroke play, every single shot matters, right? So it doesn't matter if you're 40th and whatnot. So come to the last day, every single shot matters, right? And it doesn't matter how bad you're playing, you still have to hit the next best shot. And I think that's what's just a little bit different. There's that intensity change within the league, which is a bit of a misconception. But I think, you know, for the fans around here, I think they're going to have a fun time. They're going to experience some high-level golf, and you know, leave this week hopefully having a fun, enjoyable time that hopefully changes their perspective.
I can't really say from the fans' point of view other than what I've heard, because I haven't been a spectator, but it seems that when fans are leaving, they've had a good time. They've left relaxed, enjoying, and wanting more, rather than having the day drag on, being tired and run down, and being stressed about not interfering and being quiet and so forth. It seems as though the fans have walked away from the experience having fun and wanting more. From the players' experience, rather than going into every little detail, I would just say that I used to have anxiousness going to a tour event, and with all the details and things that would go on, and I would be anxious and not want to go. I'd go as late as I could. And a LIV event, I can't wait to get here. I come earlier. I can't wait to get here. The experience from a player standpoint is it's better than I could have ever imagined.
A little bit of a different question for Sergio. Tennis players are getting really into golf, especially from your country. Have you played with Nadal or Alcaraz, and any tips for tennis players turned golfers?
Tennis players are good golfers, I'll tell you that. I've played with a lot of them. I have a lot of them that are good friends, and obviously I haven't played with Rafa in a long time, but he loves it. He's improved a lot. He's you know, he's a fighter just like he was as a tennis player. Carlos, I've played with him a couple of times. He's a little bit newer. I think he's been playing for maybe about 2 or 3 years. Obviously, his coach, Juan Carlos Ferrero, is one of my best friends, and he's a really good golfer. So we've played a lot of golf together. But tennis players, they have great hand-eye coordination, so that obviously helps a lot for golf, and I think that's why you see so many good so many good tennis players that are good golfers. So it's you know, it's fun. Obviously, I love tennis. I play a lot, and you know, it's always fun for me to be able to play both tennis and golf with them when I can.
And same question for John. Do you have any thoughts? Have you played with any of those guys from Spain?
Oh man, I'm not as fit to answer that question as him, because barely ever picked up a racket myself, and never met Carlos. I've met Rafa 2 or 3 times, played once with him. So I can't really answer. I feel like Rafa Nadal is going to be good at any sport he decides to be good at, because he's that athletic and that determined. But with what he said, is you have to be so athletic to play the sport of tennis that I feel like for them, once they learn the basics, having to hit a ball that's not moving is probably a lot easier. So using all that ability that they have, especially that mental strength that they have, knowing that physically they're not going to be taxed in a round of golf ever with what they do. It's a good challenge in a different way, and they have all the tools to be good golfers. So at that point is how much time they dedicate to actually playing golf.
Thank you.